passage of the national security legislation did require the government to reconsider the existing Hong Kong extradition treaty. So therefore, given today's announcement is consistent with what Labor was calling for the government to do yesterday, we also welcome the government's decision in relation to the extradition treaty. I'm happy to take questions on this or other matters.
The cohort which you say is ineligible, is that people currently residing in Australia?
I am not clear from the government's announcement precisely who is eligible. Obviously, it was a very broad sweeping statement by the Prime Minister and by Mr Morrison. I would urge the government to provide more details, both for the people who are here, but also those family members of people who are in Australia. Obviously, there are also logistical issues, given the borders are closed, about how these arrangements would in fact be made available.
So you're saying that you'd like to see this offer extended to relatives of people who are living in Australia, but not necessarily who are living in Hong Kong?
Look, those are matters for the government. I'm making 2 points. One is there is a lack of clarity in the announcement, but I think the more important point is it falls well short of what Mr Morrison himself flagged some days ago.
Do you think that this is going to anger China?
Look, I understand this is a sensitive issue. I understand that China has a view about this national security legislation which differs from Australia, but we shouldn't shy away from that difference. We have a different view about the importance of the one country, two systems. We have a different view about the commitments made under that Sino-British Joint Declaration, and we have consistently, across both parties, made that view clear.
Can you describe what you mean by ensuring no Hong Konger is involuntary deported?
Well, there are quite a number of Hong Kongers in Australia, and I think some 17,000 was the number that Christina Keneally and I referenced in our release a few days ago. We want to make sure that those Hong Kongers are not required to return to Hong Kong at this point.
What do you think of the likely, you mentioned that we have obviously different views than China, but what do you think of the likely ramifications of this decision on Australia?
I'm not going to speculate about that because I don't think that's helpful. I've made very clear for some time now we are in a new phase in our relationship with China. China is a very important trading partner. China is a very important nation in terms of our region and the world. There are issues on which we have different views, and it is important that Australia is very clear about the differences we have. When it comes to one country, two systems, I think we have had a very clear and different view for some time.
What would satisfy you in terms of Australia being a safe haven, as you describe it?
I think the government should give greater clarity to what arrangements are in place. But I again make the point, the view that the Labor Party put some weeks ago was we should use existing visa classes. It is the Prime Minister's own words that he has failed to deliver on.
You mentioned that our relationship with China is different now. I think it would be fair to say it's slightly more tense. Do you think that this is going to inflame tensions even further?
Well, again, I think it's the same question you asked me, and I don't intend to speculate on that. But you're right. China's view on these issues in relation to Hong Kong differs from Australia's. But we ought not take a backward step in putting our view about the importance of international law and the importance of the commitment which was made to the people of Hong Kong and to the international community under the one country, two systems arrangement by China.
The numbers in the ABC's on my story is that I think it's about 12,000 Hong Kongers with visas in Australia are eligible. And get the 5-year extension. Right. That would leave a margin of 5,000 on your numbers.
Well, we're not the government. The government should explain the differences in those figures, and the government should explain what plans it has in place for those people from Hong Kong who are already in Australia. Is its intention to require a number of them to return? I think that would be problematic.
Given that changing relationship, is Scott Morrison doing the right thing by making this decision?
I have said we support this decision. It's consistent with what Labor has been calling for.
And isn't it time for Australia to step up and respond to how China is becoming much more strident?
And I've said for some time, China has become more assertive in our region and globally, and we need to be very clear about our interests. We need to continue to engage, but we also need to be clear about where our interests differ. And I think in Hong Kong, Labor has been consistent on that. We're ping-ponging between the two.
Just to clarify, you're saying there is a cohort of these Congress from
I'm raising the question. I'm raising the question. I'm not in government.
I did finish.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were referring to your previous question.
No. Only in the sense you're saying that there's a group that he says have to go back.
Well, you yourself raised.
Implied.
You yourself raised the issue that there are a number of people from Hong Kong in Australia. It is unclear from the government's announcement whether all of those will be eligible for the pathways which the Prime Minister Morrison outlined. The government should clarify that. I think it would be problematic from the Australian perspective if we were requiring people to return at this point.
And the 5-year extension.
Well, as I said, this is consistent with what Labor has been calling for, and we support it. Anything on any other matters? Can I just say something about Victoria briefly? I know, all of us have friends. Many of us have family in Victoria. It's a very difficult time for the people of Victoria, and I just want to add my voice to the voices of so many community and political leaders expressing our solidarity with the people of Victoria at this very difficult time, and we will get through this, and we are with you. Okay, thank you everyone.